Hi, this is Carla, Live, Love, Love, our real estate with me. Of course, I am here with the beautiful Roslyn. It's a
Hi,
Knudson, help me pronounce it right. Knudson, right?
that's correct.
Perfect. She is with Florida Title, and Florida Title is a company that is owned by Robert Slack, which I am a realtor with, Robert Slack LLC. Introduce yourself for us, Roslyn, and Florida Title.
All right, I am Roslyn Knudson. I'm a closer here at Florida Title. I've been here for a little bit over a year. And I am the person who sits down with your clients and gets them into their new home.
Okay, perfect. So different states have different things. I know I have a friend of mine that's in North Carolina, and their closers are usually with attorneys. Can you explain to everyone exactly what a title company is and what the role of the title company is in the real estate transaction?
Sure. A title company is actually an insurance company. So we actually insure the property against any maybe undiscovered liens, encumbrances, judgments, any kind of issues that maybe weren't discovered in a different title search or weren't noticed maybe when a previous buyer bought the property. I'm sorry, Carla, I'm a little nervous right now.
Oh, don't be, girl, it's just me. It's just me. Please don't be nervous.
Right. You can edit, please. Yeah, so we're insuring the property against any sort of violations or encumbrances that maybe the owner wasn't aware of. And when the property transfers to the new owner, the insurance will cover that. So if something is discovered in the future, like a mortgage that maybe we weren't made aware of, you're insured. So you're not going to be responsible for that mortgage.
Okay, so if I'm gonna flip it. So from the buyer, I'm gonna be, let's say, a seller, right? So what are some of the common if I'm representing a seller and they want to put their home on the market, right? What are some, because the Florida Title is really looking at the sellers, kind of, not, I don't want to say their background, but they're looking at the liens.
It's the legal history of the property. So it's not necessarily anything against the seller.
Right.
Our judgments against the seller, it could attach to the property. Those would have to get cleared up. But generally, title insurance is a search on the legal history of the property. So all of the exchanges, all of the previous owners, all of the previous mortgages or any kind of violations, we just do our search to make sure that if there were any of those issues, they have been cleared up. So it doesn't become an issue for any owners.
So if I'm a seller and I'm about to put my property on the market, so I could give you an example of what I had. And actually, I think you work with me on this one. It was a young man that was selling a house, and before he could sell the house, he found out he had, I want to say it was like it was some kind of bill. It wasn't it was like a light bill, or it was some judgment that he hadn't taken care of. And I guess what creditors can do is they could take that, the money that you owe and put it against the house. And so
lien the property.
I think part of the profits from the house had to come out from that, right?
Right. So if there are, for example, like child support or any kind of, like I was saying, any kind of judgments or furniture that put a lien against the property, the seller without paying for that. So yeah, because it is now a lien against the property. So if we were to say not pay that bill and the new owner purchased it, it then becomes the new owner's lien because it's against the property. So that's the issue. If something like that wasn't discovered in the title search and it comes back to bite them a couple of years down the road, then they would have a claim on their policy.
So you know what? I did not know, and I guess because I haven't come across it, but I didn't even think about child support. So if someone
That comes up a
owes,
lot.
really,
Yeah.
really, and so they have to take that out of the proceeds from the house and just to get that debt.
Correct. And the same with divorces. You know,
Right.
if there was a divorce since the exchange of ownership, say one of the husband or wife gets deeded off, and there's a marital settlement agreement, we just have to make sure that everybody's complying with that agreement. So if the settlement agreement says, you know, proceeds get split 60-40, we have to make sure that, you know, that's how it gets distributed. So.
Okay, okay. So from a buyer standpoint, I guess it's pretty much nothing a buyer could do but kind of, you know, like hope and pray.
Exactly,
But from
yes.
a seller standpoint, is there anything that a seller could do before they put it on the market? Because I mean, sometimes I think like, I don't know if my seller didn't know or if he forgot. Is there anything they could do before they put it on the market to avoid those kind of issues?
I mean, generally they are aware if they have judgments out there or credit that have been trying to, you know, locate them. We've had instances, like you said, about the water bill. Sometimes either the previous lien search company didn't do a thorough enough check or it was just missed somehow.
Okay.
And this new owner has a $900 utility bill that they have to pay off.
Right.
So those circumstances have happened where it's just been either, you know, missed or maybe they weren't made aware of or they forgot about, you know, whatever the situation was. But the only thing I would probably recommend is maybe doing, you know, if you're a listing agent, maybe doing like a light lien search check. You know, you can check municipalities to see if there's any open permits or expired permits, because those can be an issue as well.
Okay.
You know, and just see if you can get any information from the county as far as maybe taxes, see if there's any past due taxes that weren't paid, because that could be a huge issue. You know, just general searches like that. And of course, again, if you know that you have maybe a creditor that has been trying to track you down, that might come up on the title search as well.
Okay. So if I put the titles, I guess, role in my brain, the way I think, the title company is almost like a kind of like a credit search on the home, almost not like a credit background check on the home. That's pretty much your role in the property, right?
Kind of, yeah. We're kind of checking to make sure that you have a pretty good credit score, I guess.
Oh, right.
Property.
The house, the home, right?
Right,
So,
right.
What are the fees? I know the fees vary, but and who pays the fees? I know during this we had this crazy market this summer where normally the seller pays it, right? Am I correct?
Correct. Right.
But in this crazy market, at one point, you know, buyers were offering to pay the fees in order to win deals. I know you've seen that a lot, right?
Right. Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
What can it average? I know each home is different, but can you give me kind of like a average?
Well, the actual title policy will vary depending on the purchase price. There is a calculation for that, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So that will vary anywhere from $1,000 to about $2,500 or so.
Okay.
And then you would also have to count on the seller side. You also have to calculate the lien search fees, the title search fees. Lien search generally anywhere from 100 to 350 or so, depending on if there's an HOA involved.
Okay.
Title search fees, ours are 550 for both sides. So buyers 150, seller 550. Title search is $85. That's for our underwriter. And of course, you would have to calculate the doc stamps, which is what the county would get for the sale of the property.
Okay.
Doc stamps could be anywhere, again, from $1,000 to maybe $3,000 or $4,000, depending on the price of the house.
Okay. And you guys actually, what's great is you guys have like an estimate, a calculator on your website that realtors and or, sellers could go in and set up kind of like a free kind of account,
Right.
sign up.
A net sheet, yeah.
You get like a estimate of it, because of course you never know until you sit and, till you get in there.
Right.
So, what has been like, if you had a pet peeve, or if it's just like something where you like, God, I'm so tired, like a resounding issue that you've seen with title that prevents people from closing, because I know you can have hiccups, right? But I've heard some horror stories of like different things that can happen, not because of title, just because of, like you said, people kind of not, doing their homework on themselves. So are there resounding issues that you just kind of see all the time that you like? I know you mentioned child support was kind of like all the time,
I mean, as far as what comes up on a title commitment, just a lot of HOA liens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that sometimes the sellers are aware of, and for some reason or other just haven't stayed on top of. But I think with us, the biggest issue that we have is probably sometimes cooperation, in the information gathering part of it, which is a lot of it, because we need to know who to reach out to get either a payoff or, if there is some child support issue and we have to contact a different party, we need help from the clients, the sellers, or the agents to help assist to get information from their clients. And sometimes people just don't like to cooperate, which delays their closing. We're trying to ensure that you guys get to the closing table as quick as possible with as little issues as possible. So we do need to have cooperation on all sides.
Right. Because it's so many, moving parts. And I always feel like title to me is like title and the mortgage, the mortgage company. You guys like put in some real work. Like that's when it, you know what I mean? Like
yes.
We grade and we showing the houses, but the real work is that title. And, when you get to the mortgage company. So please just know that, I appreciate you guys and I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you. And I appreciate agents like you who help us to get, to where we need to be quicker.
Right. And I can only, do you have like a story, like a nightmare story that you could share? Like one that you just remember, you like, I'll never forget this situation that happened. Or it could be good or it could be bad. I don't know.
Okay, I can give you an instance. It wasn't my closing, but it was pretty much a nightmare situation. We had sellers who, right before they transferred the property, before they sold their home, they changed their homestead for the taxes. So they no longer wanted to be homesteaded,
okay.
Which drastically changed the tax bill when it came out that year for the buyer, over $2,000 difference. Wow. And they didn't make us aware of this change. So we didn't collect enough because it was right before the tax bill came out. So we were thinking, the tax bill is going to be about $2,000, let's say. And the actual tax bill came out non-homesteaded over $4,000. So we had to try to reach out to the seller and say, hey, the tax bill is significantly higher. We weren't aware that you changed your homestead status. Right. Now you owe $2,000 more. And they just refused. So
they refused to pay the $2,000? They
refused, yeah. And they said so I believe they are in litigation now for that.
So the buyers they didn't get the home?
They did get the home. They closed on the home.
But so now they are responsible for the $2,000. Is that correct?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
They are the property owners. They are responsible. I believe it was worked out within our company as far as us, helping them to pay the tax bill.
Right.
It ended up, I believe it's now in litigation.
Right. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Before I let you go, I'm glad you brought up the homestead and the taxes on the home. Because one of the things that I try to do with my buyers is, so for example, the home, if you want to explain the homestead, do you want to explain what the homestead is? Just a kind of a quick.
I mean, I'm not a tax expert, but does give you,
I'm putting you on the spot, right?
A little bit. So you do get a break, I guess.
Right.
Taxes, homestead exemption will give you a bit of a discount if it is your primary residence. So you'll get there are a couple of options for the discount, but the main homestead discount is $25,000, I want to say, assessed per the assessed value of the property.
Right.
So if this is your primary residence, you definitely want to get the homestead exemption on your taxes, save some money. However, if it's a second home or an investment property, you cannot get that discount.
And so one of the things that I'm glad you brought the homestead up is that I always tell my buyers to, and I don't know if this has happened, but I always tell my buyers to go to the property appraisal website of the county, and there is a link where you can estimate your future taxes based on what you're paying for the home. Because
Correct.
I've had, I remember I had a new customer I met, and they were upset about their last realtor because they felt like they should have. So let's, for example, these houses that are crazy on the market right now. So you're paying taxes, you're looking at the taxes for that person that's like, let's say it's 150,000, right? But that's what you're paying it on, but you're buying it at 225,000. That next year, that's what you're paying. That's what you're paying taxes on, right?
Correct.
So I always try to tell my buyers, look, go to the property appraiser website, because what you're basing this tax on, and if I'm not mistaken, I think homestead, they can only increase about 3% per year. So I think in Florida, we don't get these major like increases, when you have your homestead, and I could be wrong, and everyone check that.
Right.
But a lot of buyers are kind of hurting. Like, it's good now, because you know what I mean? But then that next year, have you guys ever got calls on that, or do people ever, have you ever had?
When I sit down with, my people, I try to explain to them that, when we're going through their monthly payments and what's getting escrowed into their mortgage, I do warn them, hey, when the taxes go up, and it probably will, payment's going to go up too, because your lender now has to escrow additional funds.
Exactly.
Higher tax bill next year.
Exactly.
So you warn them when I sit down with them. And insurance as well. If your insurance changes and you have, your lender escrowing for insurance, if your insurance bill goes up, your payment's going to go up.
Exactly.
Good. I try to make them aware of that.
Good. Me and you're on the same page, because it's like, it's such like what we do. Like, I don't know, like people, their homes, like it's so serious, like it's so deep, you know what I mean? And I always tell people, look, you can't take this back like you can something at Walmart. You can't get the receipt and get your money back, you know what I mean? So
do your research.
Telling them up front. And I try to, and even on the property appraiser, website, that's still not golden, but you're kind of letting them know, look, you need to.
You get a better idea.
Exactly. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. And you've been great. And I thank you for your time. And I appreciate you explaining this, because a lot of people do not understand what a title company does. And you have broken it down perfectly. So thank you. Have a
Thank you, Carla.
And
you
happy
too.
holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Thank you.